how do you annotate your maps for D&D? So a lot of time, I think what GMs do, I don't have a lot of data on this, but I've definitely talked to a lot of DMs that do this, is they will either create a map or they will find a map, and then they will put annotations on that map for every single room that exists in that map, which is pretty time consuming. Making a map is very time consuming, particularly when you have professional map makers like Dyson who have 1,300 maps available that you can choose from. I'm always a big fan of picking maps. But then even annotating those maps can actually be pretty tricky as well. I love doing dungeon crawls. I love doing infiltration adventures. I'm doing one just in a short period of time here. And I love to have quick ways to be able to annotate a map. So I'm going to offer an alternative way to assign categories to rooms, to assign room stuff that doesn't require you actually fully annotating a map. And that's listing the chambers in your notes instead of annotating the map directly. So here is an example. All right, this is an example map that I'm using in my Wednesday game. The characters are actually down in this dungeon right now. They're about to face a death tyrant down in this. So 16th level characters that are going to face a death tyrant. And instead of me like printing out this map and taking a Sharpie and drawing map annotations on it, or using like the 5e artisanal database map annotator and putting maps on it, I said for a quicker way for me to be able to do this is I choose a map that fits well enough to the situation that I'm going to run. And then I list things out just in a list. And you can see it in this example here, where I call this map, I call it the Marrow Vaults. And in the Marrow Vaults, I had a few ideas that sort of hit my head, and I just write them on a list. River Styx, Archway to Savandra's Office, Vault of Forbidden Tomes, Underworld Ziggurat, Cracked Obsidian Sarcophagus, Necrotic Laboratory, Squirming Refuse Pit, Sacrilegious Treasure Vault, Shrine to the Pale Lord, and Pain Amplifier, right? And I don't have to necessarily assign every one of these labels to every particular room in the map. Instead, I can, depending on where the characters go, I can decide which one of these things fits that. Now, many times as you read these, if you look at the map and you read these descriptions, you can tell they are really set for a specific place. Right? That when I talk about the Underworld Ziggurat, you're like, well, it's either that giant ziggurat on the right or the smaller ziggurat on the left, right? That could be Crackstone Obsidian Sarcophagus, that could be anywhere. Necrotic Laboratory, that could be anywhere. River Styx, probably that big river that's carved right through the place. So some of these fit specific places, but other ones I can kind of move around to different places. This kind of fits the same idea of secrets and clues, where I can have a bunch of different secrets the characters could pick up, but I don't define where they're going to pick them up, which means I can drop those secrets in and improvise their revelation during play. In the same way, I don't know what path the characters are going to pick when they go through this dungeon. And I can decide based on where they go, now when they go there, now I know which one of these labels I might want to use. And then I can start to fill it out more with having my monsters in one side and my locations in another. So it's a good way to kind of keep your notes clean and make it easy for you to quickly write out the things in your maps. It takes, 5 minutes to go through and say like, yeah, these are the different locations that could exist in this place. And you don't even need to fill out every single one of them. In fact, this one had fewer chambers. Like I came up with 10, and this one doesn't even really have 10 chambers than I needed. So in some cases, you might not even need 10, but a lot of times, even if your map has 15 rooms, you can still do 10 locations because you're not going to hit every single one of the 15 rooms. You're probably only going to hit 7 or 8 of them, depending on where they go. So this is a really good way to kind of fill in the locations. Now, if you're having trouble coming up with ideas for these sorts of locations, I've got something for you. I have a list of 20 chamber descriptions. So we have 15 different common dungeons, each one which has 20 different chamber descriptions that are available for free under a Creative Commons license in the Lazy GM resource document. I will link to it in the show notes. And the 15 locations we have are Beast Den, Castle, Caverns, Derelict Ship, Dragon's Lair, Forgotten Vaults, Manor, Mines, Necropolis, Prison, Sewers, Sunken Grotto, Thieves' Den, Unholy Temple, and Wizard's Tower. Those to me were like the 15 typical kinds of dungeons. And of course, you can change these around. And then we have 20 different location names for each of those. So if you're looking for some inspiration to get your head in the right place, you can do these. Tie them to your factions, and now you can really build these out. Throw some conditions on there, like an oozing priest dormitory, or an infernal summoning circle, or a draconic private altar, and now you have some really interesting things that you can do to fill out these locations. But you don't have to go through the trouble of like opening up image editors and dropping annotations on these maps for every single location. Instead, you can give yourself a list of these potential locations and just drop them right into your notes so that when you're navigating a dungeon, when you're navigating a location, you can drop in these various things when you need them. So that's my quick trick for lazy map annotation. This is something I've been doing a lot for my Sunday games. I've actually been doing it a lot for most of my games. And I thought it would be something interesting to share with you. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did and you want to see more stuff like this, please consider subscribing to the Sly Flourish newsletter. There is a link down in the show notes. It is absolutely free to sign up, and you get a free adventure generator for signing up. You can also support me directly on Patreon. Patrons get access to things like the 5-year artisanal database, bunch of different adventures, whole bunch of stuff that you get, access to our awesome Discord server, and you help support this show and all of the other work that I do. And you can pick up any of my books at the Sly Flourish bookstore. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and get out there and play an RPG.